The world's supply of helium is disappearing, and it has nothing to do with party balloons. We are facing a silent global catastrophe that threatens MRI machines, semiconductor manufacturing, and the very foundation of our high-tech future. Right now, in March 2026, the stakes have never been higher. A massive supply shock in the Middle East has just removed 1/3 of the global supply overnight. Prices are surging by nearly 100% in some regions, and hospitals are being forced to make a choice: pay the helium tax or risk their multi-million-dollar scanners literally melting down. Once this gas escapes our atmosphere, it's gone, not just from the room, but from the planet. It is a finite cosmic resource trapped in the Earth's crust by radioactive decay over billions of years, and we are venting it into space. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the smartphone in your pocket and the life-saving scan at your local hospital are tethered to a fragile supply chain running through the Tanzanian wilderness and the war-torn Strait of Hormuz. And I'll reveal the one technological Hail Mary that might be our only way to stop the leak. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments: have you noticed the price of party balloons or high-tech goods going up lately? This is Tomorrow Explained. I'm Dennis Lissac, where we explore the global systems shaping the world just ahead of us. Most people think of helium as a novelty for squeaky voices. But in the world of advanced physics, helium is a god. It has the lowest boiling point of any element, minus 268.9 Celsius. That is just 4 degrees above absolute zero. Because of this, it is the only substance on Earth capable of cooling the superconducting magnets inside an MRI machine. A standard MRI scanner requires about 1,500 to 2,000 liters of liquid helium to stay operational. If that helium runs out, the magnet quenches. It loses superconductivity, generates massive heat, and can cause irreparable damage to a machine that costs $3 million. But it's not just medicine. Every piece of high-end silicon, the chips in your iPhone, the H100s powering AI, requires helium. It's used in EUV lithography to create an inert environment and as a coolant for the delicate etching process. A single advanced semiconductor fab can consume 500,000 cubic feet of helium a year. So why is this a crisis now? For decades, the U.S. Federal Helium Reserve in Texas acted as a global buffer. But in 2024, that system was sold off to private interests, leaving the world without a safety net. Then came the Ras Laffan shock of March 2026. Qatar provides over 30% of the world's helium. Most of it comes from a single massive complex at Ras Laffan. Recent drone strikes and military conflict in the region have forced these facilities offline indefinitely because helium is a byproduct of liquefied natural gas, LNG, processing. You can't just turn it back on. You need the entire gas infrastructure to be stable. The Strait of Hormuz is currently blocked, leaving specialized ISO containers, the only way to transport liquid helium, stranded in the Persian Gulf. In India and South Korea, spot prices have already doubled this month. For companies like Samsung and SK Hynix, who get 65% of their helium from Qatar, the clock is ticking. They have about 2 weeks of inventory left before production starts to slow down. With the Middle East in turmoil, the world is looking for a new helium king. Enter the Rukwa Basin in Tanzania. Historically, helium was found only by accident while drilling for natural gas. But in Tanzania, explorers are hunting for primary helium, pockets of gas where helium is the main prize. Recent data from February 2026 shows sustained concentrations of up to 9.2%. That is incredibly high compared to the 0.1% typically found in gas wells. If these projects in Tanzania and new sites in Minnesota and Manitoba can scale, we might break the geopolitical stranglehold. But there's a catch. Building the infrastructure to liquefy and transport that gas takes years, and we are losing supply today. Here's the most terrifying data nugget. Helium is a non-renewable resource on a cosmic scale. Unlike hydrogen or oxygen, we cannot make helium in a lab. It is created by the alpha decay of uranium and thorium deep in the earth. It takes hundreds of millions of years to accumulate. Once we pull it out of the ground and use it, it eventually leaks into the atmosphere. Because it is so light, gravity can't hold it. It literally drifts to the edge of our atmosphere, and is swept away into space by solar winds. Every balloon we pop is a tiny piece of the Earth's ancient history, leaving the planet forever. So can we stop the leak? I promised a Hail Mary solution, and it's finally arriving: the helium-free revolution. Engineers at companies like Philips and Siemens are finally rolling out sealed-loop MRI scanners. These machines use a tiny fraction of the helium, just 7 liters instead of 2,000, and they never need to be refilled. They are sealed for life. Similarly, in the semiconductor world, new recycling systems are being installed that capture 90% of the helium used in the factory, purifying it and pumping it back in. The era of cheap, disposable helium is over. We are moving from a world of venting to a world of circularity. The transition will be painful. Expect higher prices for tech and medical care in the short term, but it's the only way to ensure the 21st century doesn't literally run out of gas. The helium crisis is a warning. It shows us that even the most invisible resources are the ones holding our world together. If you found this investigation helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to Tomorrow Explained. We're tracking the hidden systems that define our future. Check out our next video on the global sand shortage that's threatening the construction industry. I'm Dennis Lesak, and I'll see you tomorrow.